How's it going? How's it going? How's it going, everybody? Welcome, welcome to another day. April 22nd, 2025. Nice to have you. Wearing my Bahamas hat today. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. If you've never been to Bahamas, it is gorgeous. Very, very nice. So today, we're going to take a look at some trades here. Some trade ideas. Got some potential trades setting up right now. Looks like dollar pairs are getting ready to rally, so we might be able to take advantage of that in the next couple days. So we'll be taking a look at that, and then later on we'll check out how these things panned out at the end of the week. All right. So hello everybody. Nice to see you again. We're gonna get back. We're gonna get down into it right now. First chart I have up here is USCAD. And USCAD is breaking through some significant demand here. Let me just shrink me up here. Kev, you're always in the way, man. You're always in the way. I can never see the goddamn charts, man. Okay, there you go. Now you can see the charts. All right. Okay. So let me open this up here. You can see on the monthly time frame, demand has been removed. Right here. At least it's in the process of being removed, which is a good sign, because this tells me over time we can expect price to drop. All right, so that's over the longer period of time. That's not what we're expecting over the short period of time. I think there's a good chance that we're going to start heading higher from here. Okay, it may not be like all the way up, but up a certain distance. And why do I think that? Well, I'm going to show you. Well, but before I do that, let me show you something. So on the 4-hour chart, we had this really nice little area of supply here, okay? And initially, the idea was to go short because of this breakout of supply, and this being the area of the breakout of demand, this being the area of supply that that existed before that area of demand was taken out. But when we started looking at some of the other pairs, me and some of the team at the school, some of the other students and members, we discovered that there was some significant demand coming into play. And with that demand coming into play, we knew that it was likely, more likely, that price was going to head higher and that this area was going to break. And so that's what's taking place right now. So there was a trade idea that I gave to students that we were discussing, and so we're expecting this to go higher. Now, I'm actually watching the 15-minute chart because I watched this area of supply get taken out, and I was watching to see if there would be some type of a setup on this time frame to enter, basing risk off of a very, very small area. And there's nothing great here, but I managed to find something, and I was setting that up before I went live today. And so so I've entered into another position based on the break of this this supply area. The interesting thing is I actually had an order right above the supply. It was a buy stop. And if any of you don't know what a buy stop is, it's an order that gets triggered only after price passes through an area. You buy something only after it goes past a certain level above price. And price fell just short of it. It broke through the supply, but just fell short of hitting the buy stop order, and somehow it triggered me in. You know, this happens sometimes. You got to be careful. But I'm in again, and I am targeting a move to the upside. How much of a move to the upside? Well, it's hard to say how much this move is going to go up because of what just happened on the monthly time frame, but I think it's somewhat reasonable to think that over time we could see price head up to this area. Okay, it could fall short, sure. And once the momentum really kicks in here, because We're just breaking through that area of supply on the 4-hour time frame, okay? We're just breaking through. So once the momentum really kicks in, I suspect we'll see, some momentum really come in here and start shooting price to the upside. When that does happen, then I'll move my stop loss to break even, and that way it's a risk-free trade. And then I won't really have to think about what happens with this trade. Put it up to break even, see how high it can go. I have my targets all the way up at that supply, and we'll see if it gets there. If it doesn't get there, that's okay. If it ends up turning back, that's okay. No big deal, right? But that is my target up in this area. I'd say a good reasonable target, a good reasonable first target would be, let's open up this daily chart, because we got some resistance here. I'd say here, okay? That'd be a good target. And second good target would be, it could come around here, 141. So first one would be 140.24, the other one 141.23, give or take around there. Those would be two good targets. So I will sync those on the charts, and that way we can see it on the other time frames. Okay, there you go. So look at the momentum kicking in now, right? This is beautiful. This is what we wanted. Let's go back to the 15-minute time frame. Beautiful. Okay, so now the momentum's kicking in, and this is what usually happens when an institutional zone breaks through. We usually see an aggressive move to the upside, and that's typically from buying. Some people would say from stop hunts, because right above these highs here, they're probably retail stops. Probably they were probably shorting at these highs, expecting price to drop once again, because price dropped last time it was up here, so they're putting their stops around the highs. So when the banks push through these areas, they're eating up all those stops. But the most important reason is because the banks are buying, okay? When selling zones are taken out, that means buying is being created, all right? So this is the momentum that I was talking to you about. So this is good momentum. I'm going to wait for a few candles to be created to the upside with momentum. Then I'll move my stop loss to break even, and then it's a free trade. It's free money, okay? We know that the direction being pushed by the banks is up. We're in a long trade, and I will move this position that I just entered, stop loss to break even, and then it's just all upside, okay? But I want to give it some room to breathe, okay? You don't want to, the second it goes into a profit, move your stop loss, because you gotta allow for a little bit of a move to the downside too. Those things happen. You can't be too greedy, all right? When you act too fast, you're more likely than not going to be stopped out. So just be calm, let it produce. Here's the 4-hour time frame, okay? Let this candle close. It's likely going to close as a bullish candle above this area of previous supply. Let it close. And then once it closes at the highs, the new candle starts to form, then that would be a good point to move your stop loss. Okay, so I'm watching that. And at the same time, I'm also watching the US Swiss. We were talking about this one yesterday. I said this looks like a good trade, a good trade signal to the upside. We got demand in play, and we see price building momentum, and these previous highs are being taken out. It looks like this is going to shoot up. We were also examining the 4-hour time frame, and I told you at the time that RSI was quite weak, well below 40. But remember, I told you when it dips down and it hits around 40, that shows us that it's ready for some strong momentum to the upside. And so it did overnight while I was sleeping. We dipped down. It held just a pinch below 40 at 38.48, which is good. And now we're getting that move. So like if we break this down to a 15-minute chart, where's that low, right? That low is here. This is where it was. So you could have something like this, the low behind there. And let's take a look at where we would be targeting this sucker. Yeah, at least here. at least here. Target. Okay, let's go back to the 15-minute chart. Boom. Okay, there you go. A nice 2.29 return to risk. Okay. Okay. With the stop loss below these lows here. And why those lows? Because that is the drop here. That gave us RSI around 40, which is strong, which means price is likely not going to come back to that area. So this could be a good trade here. Okay. Short-term trade to the upside. I like it. All right. I know there was another one of you that were looking at this trade as well. I posted it on X, and you had mentioned to me that you thought it was a decent trade, something that you were considering too. So, so we'll see how this plays out. Okay. But to me, this looks good. Looks very good. All right. One of you mentioned US dollar, Japanese yen. Not too bad. Somewhat weak. Hitting some daily demand. Yeah, we could expect some upside. The daily chart, it's hitting daily demand, and the daily chart, RSI is showing well below 40 at 27. That means this move to the downside is extremely weak. I wouldn't be comfortable with going long this until it rallied, drop, show me a stronger RSI, and then maybe I'd be interested in going long. I think overall this is better suited for a short, even though the banks are really, really positioned short right now and aggressively short. We tend to think that when they're reaching their maximum short that they're ready to take profits. But everything on this chart is telling me this is going to go lower, which tells me that they're likely going to continue adding to their short and creating new records. So I'm not going to fight them on that. I'm not going to fight them unless they show me that they're interested in buying, which they would show me by showing me some strength here. Okay, and we'd see that in the RSI building. Unless that happens, I'm not going to be very much interested in this one. Okay. One of you want to see Bitcoin. Bitcoin showing some strength, moving to the upside. Not much going on here. Okay. We're still stuck in this range, as I've been mentioning. We have demand down here, and we have supply up here. And as long as this range holds, we can expect anything to take place in between this area. Okay. Downside, this demand needs to break. Upside, this supply needs to break. So until one of those two take place, price can just sit in between this range. So not much to see there. All right, ladies and gents, I think that was quite helpful. Hopefully it was helpful for you. And if you want to know more, whiteoakfx.com. We'd love to have you. Come and join us. In the meantime, I'll be managing these trades, posting updates for you guys. And yeah, that's it. You know that we started a new bank trading masterclass a couple weeks back. We're in our second week. We're covering a lot about how we do the supply and demand analysis and how we locate trends, how we locate where the banks are buying and selling. If you haven't learned by now that prices move based on the banks buying and selling, I'd recommend that you learn that. Okay? All right, guys. You take care. Here's a little reminder. We start our class April 14th. We'd love to have you, okay? Anyways, that's it. If you enjoyed this session, you enjoy these trades and these ideas I give you, please hit the like and be so kind to share the video if you want to. I'd appreciate that. You take care. Until next time, have a good one.